Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth installment of the Same Six Wednesday. This time we're using My Things. And after doing the first four, I just hope they let me play again with the things I sent. I don't know where my head was when I picked out everything. Maybe I just thought the rusty paper would be so amazing that they wouldn't notice that the rest of it was a big zero. I had so much fun with the others, and then I open up mine and I'm going, really? Is that what I sent? But evidently it was, and I have to make it work. So there was this little padlock and a sheet of rusty paper I made myself. This ribbon circle end thingy. Yeah, getting boring, isn't it? A little glassine envelope. A tiny coffee filter. And this little soft, I don't know what it is, just a cute little pocket. And it's got a fold over on the inside, fold over on the outside. I'm not having any idea what to do with this. So it's kind of crazy that so far my biggest challenge has been mine. So let's get started. I see we've got a circle and we've got circles on here. So we're going to do our stencil backgrounds in circles. I'm using the Ancient Page Sienna because I want that rusty looking color there. And I'm going kind of heavy because I think I need to put some color in this thing, huh? So I hope you all are enjoying this Same Six Wednesday this year. I think it's just amazing. It's the most funnest thing I've done in a long, long time. Yes, funnest is a word, at least at my house. I'm going to go ahead and go the whole page. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I might as well go ahead and get the whole page stenciled. Okay, I really like the background. I think it turned out really nice. It would be a great background for just about any page, but I still need some color because I picked all white stuff. So I am going to take a distress ink over here. And this one is Peacock Feathers. I'm not sure why I chose that one, but I guess because that's kind of orange and this is kind of blue. So I'm just going to put a little bit of color on my pocket. And I also kind of chose blue maybe because I know in the leftover bag of all the materials left over from all the projects so far that there is some blue in there. And so I'm thinking maybe I can make something, use some of those components too, because for some reason, this just doesn't seem like enough. I'm going to pick this Mermaid Lagoon color too. It's kind of all different blues there. It's kind of hard to see on that bluish background. Let's see what this looks like. You kind of see it's just barely there. Let's add a little more. In fact, let's just get it good. Ooh, it looks pretty cool now. I'm hardly touching it, just putting color on there. And make sure I put the right lids on. So I'm going to let that set and dry. I'm sure it's going to be a pocket. And then we have these that of course need some color. So let's just see what happens with this when I put some ink on it. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and do all of it because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but at least it's not white anymore. What a crazy thought I had using all white. But that's okay because then it is what it is, a challenge. And we all need that once in a while. So now we have these two things done and our background. Still no idea what we're going to do with all this. So I'm thinking this would make a great pocket, but I'm going to try something else. I'm going to go ahead and tear it apart and see what I can do with that. I don't want that on there. I like that really rough torn edge there. Because this is kind of like a tea bag, you know? It's just coffee filter. Let's go ahead. So now I tore it apart, so maybe I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it later. And then we have the rusty paper. Color-wise, we're looking good. And we have the circle and we have the padlock. We wish the padlock opened. So, but I'm kind of thinking out loud here. Or just thinking. I don't know. What if I took this and let's see how well that will. Oh, that will lay really good. I mean, it's not flat, of course, but so I'm gonna do this. But before I do this, we've got to find something to cover this with. So let's pull out the magic bag of leftovers. And I know I've got a lot of blue stuff in here, but and a lot of the earthy, naturally orangey kind of stuff. But I think I'm going to use a little bit of the sheet music. And get out my glue stick. Ooh, might have to pause this. I am down to one glue stick in my drawer. That's a pretty rare thing. I usually have 4 or 5 of them out on the table when I'm working. So, like that right there. And I will get my handy dandy scissors. Still have paper left for the cover. I'm still extremely anxious to put this book together. I was rereading some of the names that was suggested for my first page and all those wonderful people in the pictures. And I still haven't picked out a name, but I think when I do the big reveal of the finished book, that's when I will have their names picked out. Oh, how cool. How cool is that? My fingers have a little bit of blue ink, a lot of blue ink. So I'm kind of getting a blue cast on here. You get one fingerprint, you just make a bunch of fingerprints, right? Okay. Let's see if we can't clean up some of those fingers, though, before we go too much further. I don't want everything to be the same color. All right, let's do a little placement thought. So we have all of the components. This is still pretty wet. I don't know if the glassine takes forever to dry or what. And so we got this. We've got these that we can use. We got this with the padlock hanging on it, which we'll put, down here somewhere. Ooh, look. I don't know why, but that looks interesting to me. Oh, wow. I just had a brainstorm. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of ink on these. Just a little bit. I'm going to use this brush because I just want it along the edges. I'm going to use the Mermaid Lagoon. It's kind of crazy when it kicks in and you know exactly what you're going to do. Well, at least one half of the page. Okay. So I need this ink pad. Words, they're gone today. I need that ink pad still. And I think I'm going to use this little stamp here. Why? Because it was the one on top. Is that not the main reason that we choose a stamp? Okay, so we're going to just... Let's keep the ink all the same color. Okay, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, let's use the next one. And I've got this one here. It's just a kind of a diamond pattern. I could be a lot less messy if I used a block, but then I can't, put it just where I want it. Okay, so we have that. Now, here's my idea. I'm going to take this one and then this one. Well, I'll do it this way, actually. I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew them into a pocket. I wasn't going to do it as a pocket, but then with seeing them laying there like that, I was like, that needs to be a pocket. And I like the stacked pockets. So I will be right back. Okay, I got those sewed on. And when I was messing with this, I decided I don't know if I'm going to glue this down. So I went ahead and covered the other side with a piece of the napkin from one of the previous pages. Now, whether or not I want to, like put this in here or just have it hanging on here, I haven't decided that yet. But we got this, so we got to start. So now I'm going to take my rusty paper and I'm going to tear it in half and determine which side I want to use first. So I'm going to go back to my old faithful of doing torn strips and let's just see what we get when we tear this. There we go. Let's see if we can get this one skinny. Yay, I'm really liking that. Oh, what I'm going to do with it yet? Nope, no idea. And see, it really blends in with the background. So I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, and I didn't realize it was going to blend in so much. So that means we make something work out, right? So what if we did this little pocket and this little pocket? Let's switch that around. Let's put this one down here. And my reason is if something tall is, now let's do this. Okay. Yep, an idea hit. So I'm going to kind of do that. And then I'll do this one. And I'll use these to sew these on. Kind of like framing them like that. And we'll do this one like this with this piece over here. That kind of covers. I'm not trying to really cover them, just to add a little more something in there. I don't know. Now that I look at it on the screen, I'm just not sure. To me, I see the number 78. Why? I don't know, but that's what I see. So, nope. So let's see if I take this and see how this opens up. So far, so good. It's kind of got a little striped edge there. You know, we can always use the scissors if we need to, but let's just see. And this part is folded over. So if we undo this, it's going to be white in there. And the same thing with the bottom, but I don't think we need to go quite that big. So let's let this sit over here for a minute. And let's put some ink on this spot that's white. It's definitely still damp on there because my fingers were washed. So, okay, so now I'm thinking just as an overlay. And then we could take a piece of this. Okay, so I'm liking this. I'm just still not sure what I'm going to do with it, but let's get the blue off the fingers because I don't want it all over everything, which may still happen. Maybe the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so this itself is pretty lightweight, but let's go ahead and try something here. I like that. I'm going to tear this a little bit down here. Remember, I'm saving all the scraps. I think I'll go ahead and tear that off. I'm going to see if I can just kind of, I hate to take that whole thing off. It's such a good dark spot. So I can just kind of put a few little bumpies in there. So we'll do that. Figure out how we like that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to do them as 2 layers. And where this is going yet, I don't know that yet. Where this is going, I don't know that yet. But I'm going to go sew this and see what I think. Okay, so I stitched this down. Did not glue it because I didn't want the glue seeping through. And I kind of made some really crazy stitches to make it look really rustic. So I was going to stitch this just right on there too, but I decided I wanted to decorate it up a little bit, do it a little bit different. So I went ahead and put the music paper on it just to strengthen that, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it as a pocket. I did that because we got the white look over here. I don't know. They don't even get close to each other because they're going to be back to back when the project's done. But so we have that, and so this is a pocket. I just zigzag down the edges and zigzag that on, and so now I'm going to sew this on, and I will be on the downhill side. Okay, so I've got this sewn on, and I've played around a little bit just because for some reason this is a really struggle. So what I've come up with is I went and got a journaling card. I don't even know where I got it. Kind of looks like maybe it's a Project Life card. I tore a little piece of the rusty paper, and I'm going to staple that on here. Of course, these are green staples. Oh well, that's okay. And it'll go in here. And I still have these two things, and I still have rusty paper. So I think for these two things, I know I cut this to do, put the lock in there, but it just wasn't fitting anywhere. So I'm going to change my mind again. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut this off. So it's two pieces. And I found these two journaling cards, which really need to have rounded corners. So we're going to give them some rounded corners. And they could be inked, but for now I'm not going to ink them because I'm not positive what I'm going to do. Let's see if these punch better if I put them both together. Much better. Okay, so I have these, and let's see what color's in this stapler. And I'm going to do one of them like this. I'm going to come over here and staple this in place. Oh, this one has blue staples. Let's go ahead and give this 3 staples to hold it in place. So now I have a journaling card with a list on it. Let's see, do I want to do that one different? Ties that music over there in. So yeah, we're going to do this one this way. So I have 2 little journaling cards in there. Kind of covers up that pocket, which if I wanted to, I could easily cut these down. But we're gonna leave that like that for now. We know that other pocket's back there. But we all know that this is going to bother me that you can't see the other pocket, right? So I'm going to have to come up with something different. Oh man, let's see. So they're pretty cute over here too. So maybe we'll do that. This one would be a lot easier to cut down because this one has the numbered list. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to cut it down because I just can't hide that pocket completely. Cut it down. Luckily, it's got a straight line to follow. Well, sort of follow. And I'll punch the corners, make them round. And ta-da! Now we've got a tag in that pocket. And we have this little piece here, so we might as well utilize it. Coordinate. Yep. I know I usually don't coordinate nothing, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. So we got this other piece of rusty paper. We might as well make a tag out of it. Let's just tear it in half because it's just about as wide as the paper. And we'll make our little tab. And we'll use the stapler. Kind of forget my stapler sometimes, which, you know, isn't necessarily a good idea. So we have that. And then we still have the little padlock. And I just love it laying there, just for no reason whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pokey tool. Oops. Got to grab pokey tool, not an X-Acto knife. So I'm going to poke a hole right here. And another one right beside it. And I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to poke one right here. And right here. And yes, I'm watching out for my fingers. And I am going to grab a piece of wire. Rather than trying to fight that and gluing it on and whatever, I'm going to use a piece of wire. And my old cruddy scissors to cut it. And I'm just going to wire this on. I could come back and do a little bit of glue if I wanted to, but I think this will probably be sufficient. Take those out so they don't keep falling off. Oh! I poked a hole in my journaling card. How funny is that? And I was actually putting it where I was putting it to keep the cards from falling all the way to the bottom. Live and learn, right? So we're going to do this one, and actually I kind of didn't get the holes exactly where I wanted them. I needed more than I got. So let's do the other side of the hole. And I don't like the wire I chose because it's just too heavy. So we're going to slide over here to the side and get some lighter weight wire. Because I have tons of wire sitting over here from another project. And this one will be just like sewing with string. And yes, I poked my finger. I know. Do as I say, not as I do. So, gonna go in one hole. Oh, come on, silly, silly, silly wire. And I'm going to bring these ends up through that top hole. And I did double the wire because it is so thin. I thought if I could use it doubled, it would save me having to do extra stitches of wire. I'll go through the loop. See if I can pull this down tight without ripping the paper. There we go. There we go. And now we're going to go back in the other hole to help make it all nice and secure. There we go. So now we'll come down here and we're going to go in the outside hole. Oh, really? If I had wanted to do this without the camera, it would have went just fine. We're going to go in that way and bring our little guy back down here. in there. You could use a paper punch if you wanted. The only one I have that's long enough to go there is the crocodile, and I didn't want that big a hole. I really wanted a pretty small hole. So now I'm going to come over here and take these in one of these holes. It's not really important which one, as long as you can get them in there. And then we'll go in the other one. I kind of forget I'm going through this fibery stuff here. So I needed to pull this nice and tight, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on the key that's underneath when I pull this, so that I can pull my wires tight so it stays, but not tear everything else. Now, depending upon how you're going to finish it, I would probably just kind of do something like that, give it a couple wraps somewhere. But I'm not too concerned about it, mostly because it's going to be covered up. So I'm going to grab a little piece of Scotch tape just to make sure the ends don't get on me, and poke something through. And so there we go. And now that should just keep that from being all the way down there. Perfect. And we have this side and we have that. But of course, you know, we got to do the edges because it's too plain for me. And this is still plain, and I don't have anything to stick down in there at this moment. I could easily, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, because when I laid it on there, I liked it. And for as many bumps as this project has given me, I think I better do what I like. So now it's embellished a little bit, just a little bit, but maybe that's not enough. So let's add a little bit of washi tape, because we have 1, 2, and so now we need a third piece of something. And since this is right here, I'm gonna do the third piece right there. Ta-da! Very happy with that. Very happy. Now the page I thought I was going to love the most is the side I don't like as well. Maybe it needs to have a little cluster of washi tape and torn paper. So we will try that and see. We're going to put a little bit of the rusty paper. Let's try a piece of washi tape. And let's try this washi tape, if we can get it to come out of there. There we go. That part's been loose, so let's see. Yeah, it's kind of got its own little collage there. So I'm going to do my outline edges because that's my favorite. I don't always do them, but I do like to do them. This pin's on its last legs, but I'm still going to use it. I just want it kind of faint. I don't want it as stark as it is sometimes it is. I think this boils down to loving to outline everything. Although in kindergarten, I got in trouble for not coloring inside the lines. This kind of lets you scribble and get by with it. So I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out for as much of a mental struggle as it felt like to me. I do believe we need something else over here, but I have used the rusty paper, the round circle from the ribbon, the glassine, the little fibery thing, and the coffee filter and the key. And I think we can live with this. I don't know if we maybe need a little bit of the little more rusty paper over here. But I think if we do, it needs some blue to counteract it because it just gets lost in the same color background. But for now, I think I'm going to call that good. I would like to find something else to stick in the pocket and in here. But I think my page is done. I'm happy with it. And we will see this the next time in the finished book. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope I didn't drive you crazy with my indecisiveness. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.